Welcome to the first debate of the Toronto Debating Society mini debate marathon. First debate tonight. Be it resolved that schools are responsible for children obesity. Prime Minister Dean versus Leader of the Opposition Victor. Prime Minister will speak for 2 minutes, Leader of the Opposition for 3, and the Prime Minister will come back for an additional 1 minute to sum up the argument. Please welcome our Prime Minister for this debate, Dean.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Schools are responsible for children obesity. Schools are grade schools, junior elementary schools, responsible cause of children obesity, young people being overweight, morbidly so. So ladies and gentlemen, there are a number of reasons why schools are responsible for children obesity. Firstly, in recent years in particular, they have cut back on physical education programs. And when you used to have them 2 or 3 or 4 or even 5 times a week, now you're lucky if you get it once a week. And if that, you get it for about 15 minutes. And generally you're not doing any active running around. So therefore, no calories being burned in any appreciable amount. Recess and lunch hours, sure, but generally, if you go to a schoolyard, you don't see children running around. They're playing marbles. They may be skipping, but ladies and gentlemen, in the big scheme of things, this is not sufficient to work away at what the children are eating and to keep them fit. The second thing, ladies and gentlemen, food supervision. In schools with cafeterias, oftentimes what is presented is not edibly good for them as far as promoting good health and lack of obesity. Jamie Oliver has been trying in Britain to get schools to change their formats in the cafeterias. A school board in the United States recently tossed him out for trying to change the school cafeteria. It was too healthy. People don't want to eat it, they said. If you've got a school board thinking that way, ladies and gentlemen, where in logic is the health of the children the priority for the schools? They do not promote health and good eating. They're worried about the 3 R's, the reading, the writing, and the arithmetic. You don't worry about that. The family at home has to do that, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, schools are responsible for children obesity.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just heard that schools are responsible for obesity, or children's obesity. Why? Because they don't get enough physical activity at school, and because food they serve in cafeterias, and I would suggest there are not too many schools with cafeterias. However, those which do, they do not serve proper food. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me suggest there are 24 hours to a day, and children are most of the time with their parents. Now, being with their parents gives them lots of opportunities to, first of all, develop an attitude. You start with a what was so funny? You start develop an attitude of being active, an attitude of eating well. They develop taste buds from the early age. This doesn't come all of a sudden when they are 6 and they walk into a school and they love hamburgers or whatever is pizzas, whatever is being served at school. No, these taste buds are developed over years, and they are developed at home. They should be already prepared for a certain lifestyle and prepared for dangers that they face at schools. The physical activity, they get home maybe at 3 o'clock, we are talking about younger children, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There is lots of time for the activities. They can play by themselves after school, after instructions or supervisions of their parents. They can go for walks. They have weekends, ladies and gentlemen. They have weekends, they have long weekends. What do they do during these weekends? Well, parents go probably shopping. Who is responsible for physical activity of these children? Parents. They should go out, they should go for hikes, Bruce Trail and what have you. There are so many opportunities. They can get involved into a variety of sports, clubs. They can be busy from the time they get home, after they've done their homework and so on, to the time they go to sleep. This is a responsibility of parents. Soon we will hear that government, federal maybe, is responsible for obesity of children. No, ladies and gentlemen, it's parents. They are educating their children how to eat. They are educating their children how to live, how to behave, how to be active. This is done by parents. This is not done by schools. Schools have very little influence on this. Yes, there is some of it. Of course, it would help to have an education, physical activity more times per week, but it's not enough. Ladies and gentlemen, vote against the resolution.
Ladies and gentlemen, the opposition has claimed that children are with their parents most of the time. Well, perhaps I would suggest rather, that they are away from school most of the time, but they're not always with their parents, ladies and gentlemen. They are sitting in front of a Game Boy, they're sitting in front of a PlayStation, they're sitting down, ladies and gentlemen. And the parents, whether they are promoting it or not, the school is a way of dealing with the health issues of children in the community. But the other issue, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of parents don't have the time to be with their children. If they're out playing with other people, I would suggest the parents are scared that they're going to get taken off by somebody in a car somewhere. And unlike 20 or 30 years ago, when you could let your child run off to the park and play on the swings and whatever else, that's not the case now, ladies and gentlemen. Schools have children sitting constantly, day in, day out, not with physical activity. And ladies and gentlemen, this is that cause.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Okay, who votes, just a show of hands, for D, for the Prime Minister, sorry, that resolution, schools are responsible for children with obesity. 1, 2, 3, 4. And who votes for the opposition? A little bit more. Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much for voting. That was marvelous. We're going to continue along the same